I got this video of the USS Ronald Reagan from the National Geographic Channel. They didn't bother to question the incredible price tag, or mention Ronald Reagan's support for Saddam Hussein.
The U.S.S. Ronald Reagan, named for a president known as the Great Communicator. This ship communicates one of his most well-known philosophies loud and clear. Peace through strength. A lot of strength. Among crew members, there's a high level of anticipation.
I felt like a school kid going to his first day of school when I walked up to this ship and got on board for the first time.
The USS Ronald Reagan is the 9th Nimitz-class aircraft carrier to be built. The Nimitz-class carriers are the largest carriers on Earth, and this one is the most tricked out among them.
All of the latest improvements have been put on board this ship.
Those improvements don't come cheap. You're looking at $4.5 billion worth of boat. That's billion with a B. With a carrying capacity of up to 85 combat aircraft. Towering 20 stories above the waterline, the Reagan's soaring height is dwarfed by its enormous expanse from stern to bow. At a whopping 1,092 feet long, it's like taking the Empire State Building on an ocean cruise. 2 onboard nuclear reactors provide enough power for the Reagan to operate at sea for 20 straight years without ever having to refuel. Speaking of cities, you could put the entire population of Aspen, Colorado on this boat with room to spare. The Reagan can actually house over 6,000 people. The Reagan even has its very own zip code. It can store enough food and supplies to sustain its population for up to 3 months. There are 30,000 light fixtures and 1,400 telephones. 1,300 miles worth of cable and wiring adorn the passageways. Unravel it, and you'd have enough to string lights from Pittsburgh to Denver. When the Reagan throws its weight around, look out. When carrying at full capacity, the Reagan has a displacement of 97,000 tons, which means when floating, it displaces 194 million pounds of water, about 28.7 Olympic-sized swimming pools. One of the most significant modifications to the Nimitz design is below the waterline.
One of the main modifications is bulbous bow. It's a feature on many ships throughout the world. We put that on this carrier so that the bow of the ship would be a little more buoyant. And of course, for launching and recovering airplanes, especially launching, we need to make sure that that bow wants to spend a lot of time up level with the horizon in a pitching deck scenario.
Starting at the top, the Reagan's Island is the first major design change in U.S. Navy islands since the 1960s. It was actually built with a lot of unused extra space so that it would have room to house unforeseeable technologies of the future.
The captain got the ship up close to her maximum speed, and he put the rudder hard over. And this flight deck that you see right now, all straight, tilts over about 12, 15 degrees. When you've got 300 feet of flight deck at a 15-degree angle, it is an impressive sight. We'll take on 3 million gallons of fuel, which we don't use for the ship itself. We use it for all the airplanes that are embarked.
That's enough gasoline for an economy car to make about 4,200 trips around the world.
If we had spent the money on solar and wind power, we wouldn't even need this aircraft carrier.